And we are live. Mic levels look pretty good. How's everybody doing today? Thanks for dropping by. Bronze Dragon here. Lots of stuff to talk about this week. I think that we've settled into a situation where Land 1.5 in Splinterlands is going well. Where am I at, Alex? I am on the East Coast, right outside Philadelphia in the USA. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. Thanks for dropping by. Hey, Vilson, thanks for dropping by. I think we are in a situation where Land 1.5 has went live a couple weeks ago now, and everybody's kind of settled in and getting into their land, and we had a couple big updates. Hey, Ghostly, thanks for dropping by. Should I buy 5-cent cards and use on the battle wagon? I think that remains to be seen. I think that what he did state was he's going to make it, it's going to be better to have maxed out cards on the battle wagon than it is to be, like one low BCX cards. That's the one statement I did take away from that. So I think that you're going to want maxed out cards on your battle wagon, and then probably some packs or whatever. So we did have some big updates on SplinterForge this week and a big addition to Golem Overlord as well. So we have several different things to talk about. We can talk about today. Wibble is in the house with a big we as usual. Thanks for dropping by. Yes, I am feeling much better than I did about a week and a half ago at this time. I came down with COVID. Interestingly enough, and I'm not casting aspersions and I'm not making any statements here, but I will say that my wife got her newest COVID shot as she keeps up on her COVID shots. I haven't had one in a while. I've had like 3 or 4 of them, but she keeps up on hers. And 2 days after she got her update, she got COVID, and then a day after that, I got it from her. So I went for the standard period of about 9 days, just staying in my house, and we were getting better. But I think overall, what I experienced was kind of like along the lines of a heavy-duty cold, a heavy-duty common cold. So I am grateful that it didn't get much worse than that. Vilson says he's been losing 80% of the battles today. Wow, that's pretty tough. It is beginning of the season, and beginning of the season is always pretty tough. It's been a while since I manually battled. As you know, I use the Archmage bot, but I do keep an eye on it, and it does lose a lot more. Whenever I did manually play, it was the first few days of the season was very frustrating. In fact, whenever I did manually play, I usually overplayed and used up a lot of my points on the last day to accumulate more chests, and then I took like the first day or 2 of the season off. I definitely took the first day of the season off whenever I was manually playing because it was just too frustrating. But that was just me, and Okay, Jason Jenkins, new name in the house. Thanks for stopping by, Jason. Let's see what he has to say. Anyone notice the Avalanche blockchain is messed up just now? $10 transaction fees on the C chain, and even then they are failing, almost as bad as ETH. I don't have any experience with the Avalanche blockchain. What game do you just do crypto transactions on there, or is there a game on the Avalanche blockchain that I'm not familiar with? Obviously, I always like to look at new games. I stay away from the ETH blockchain. I know there are a lot of cool games out there and being developed on the ETH blockchain, but I've just had a lot of bad and that's part of the reason why I stayed away from buying a Rooney. I would love to have a Rooney, but I hate transactions on the ETH blockchain. I do have some Ethereum. I do, back in the mining days, I did mine some, and I do have some, but I hate any time I do a transaction on the Ethereum blockchain, and I know this is getting on a sidetrack, I just get any possible money I was going to make is getting eaten up in transaction fees. So either way, let me know if I'm missing something on the Avalanche blockchain, because I do like to look at new games. Okay, so going on. Gathering says, good morning. Hope everyone had great end of season rewards. I watched your videos. Your video was pretty decent. I mean, your rewards were pretty decent as far as the SPS went. Mine were moderate. I wouldn't say I had a bad draw this week. I did put a video out yesterday. It was a little bit later in the day because I got busy with work and everything, but it wasn't a bad draw. I wouldn't say it was a great draw. I will notice that it just seems like I guess what I want to say is it doesn't seem like the draws are completely random. It's just like sometimes you get a bunch of chests and they're just like a lot of SPS, or like for me yesterday it was a lot of potions, and it just seems like it can't be all completely random. Or you will run into I've noticed I've run into a situation where, and I watch a bunch of different creators' videos on where they open their chests, and just like everybody gets the same epic or same legendary drops for everybody. That just cannot be completely random, you know what I mean? But either way, I think my drop yesterday was okay. I wouldn't say it was great. Okay. Let's see here. Gathering says, don't forget to grab your free daily rewards in SplinterForge and get some raffle tickets for a chance for free land plot. Yeah, I do. That's one of the things on the topics I wanted to talk about. On SplinterForge, big update this week. If you didn't jump into it, watch Gathering's video on the topic, and I do need to make a video on the topic as well. I mentioned it in a few, but if you go in, this little quest icon at the top will pop up this box, and it gives you what you've earned, and you can earn points in the contest in multiple different ways. Basically, you're going to want to buy stuff, or you're going to want to level up your hero to earn points in this contest that's going on. And like he pointed out, use the button up here at the top, and as you can see, there's a number of different daily rewards during this month that are for the next 25 days that you can pick up, and all good value. So basically, he's adding a lot to the game, and one of the big update happened this last week, if you weren't aware, where each hero can be trained up and advanced with different powers now, and working towards the ultimate ability to level up your hero, customize your hero, and then sell your hero if you wanted to, because it will become a tradable asset. So we can talk about that as well later on if everybody wants to. Yeah, and like you said, they are giving away a land plot and several other things. Let's go back. I forget where the list of prizes are, but he had a nice list of prizes. So basically, if you have previously played SplinterForge, or I actively play every day, jump in and customize your character, level up your hero. If you didn't know, you should stake a little bit of Forge, and then you get daily experience, which mounts up, and then you can use it to level your different heroes. So let's see here. Vilson says, need coming back to Saul myself. Did some degen. I don't really know what you're saying. Avax and Saul have a strong narrative. Oh, you're talking about the games. Didn't put a video out myself, but didn't get much. I'll have to look into that. Let's see. Gathering says, the best way to get points for the event is to burn cards for Electrum, not Forge. Yeah, I jumped in, I leveled my heroes, and I bought some powers, and I advanced the powers to level 2 a little bit. Past that, in my play, I have noticed that the powers have been firing off once in a while, but at level 2, they're only firing off 2% of the time. I do notice, and I do think that my hero is my heroes are performing better after the addition of the powers, even though they're only firing off like 2% of the time. So Alex says, I bought SPS when it was 32 cents. I bought a little bit more when it was down under 10. When they went to the no more deck winning and you win SPS, I had 5K staked. Now I have 33K, so I have been able to start to take out my initial allotment. So now I'm playing with it. Yeah, if you go back and look at the videos around that time period, I was just under 10,000, and I did a lot of videos, and I was neither here or there. I guess you could say I was a little bit salty about the change, but with that said, I did see why it needed to be changed. Anyway, with that point, I'm at this point roughly over 3 times that amount. So I'm about where you're at. I'm about 35,000 staked. And I am drawing in a higher amount per day from land now that land 1.5 is live versus before it was live. However, considering all the money I put into land, I think it's reciprocal, right? So I'm also, I'm rolling in, obviously, on a daily basis on land. The SPS that you get off the land is automatically staked when you do your daily claim. But I am taking my normal daily winnings and I'm saving them up. And I've been toying around with the idea of just saving it up and not staking an amount and then buying another land plot with that SPS. I've been toying around with that idea. So let's see. In the middle of training. Sorry, my fingers are not working. Okay. I'm coming back to Solana and degenning into some NFTs and memes. Okay. I'm spread out too. There's so many things out there these days. I don't think any of us can keep up with it all. I'm on several games on the Hive blockchain, and I like the fact that I can go back and forth with the different coins and trade them back and forth. I play TerraCore, play Golem Overlord, play SplinterForge, and I've been taking some coins back and forth and putting them into the various games when I want to, beef them up, So I am looking at, I've been funneling some of my coins into Splinterlands to be able to eventually just buy me another plot. Obviously, I've been talking about it a lot, but I am looking at plots. And obviously, we all like a good deal. So I'm always looking at the land market. And if a really good deal pops up, I'll probably jump on it. So, and the land market is, like I had said, previous to land 1.5 going live, it changed on a daily basis, but not a whole lot. Now, after land 1.5 has went live, it's changing on a minute by minute or an hourly basis, So if you're looking for deals, although on that topic, I guess with the 2.0 news coming out, and Magic and I have done, Gathering and I have done videos on this, but it just seems like they're going to build a lot more incremental costs into each land plot. So I'm kind of a little bit more wary of spreading out too thin and getting too many different plots. Although I like the idea of having plots as, I always say this is not investment advice, just buying the plots. And even though I can't necessarily do anything with them right now, have them for the future. So will they be great investments? Who knows? But I do see that when 2.0 goes live, there's going to be a lot more incremental costs per plot. Okay, what's really scaring me, and I understand the need for the leveling of buildings, right? We've all played games where you have to level up your buildings and they produce more, but what's scaring me is the incremental cost of each. In other words, I have 11 plots, and if it's going to cost $100 or more per plot to level up a building, that's a huge cost, you know? So these are just thoughts running around in the back of my brain. So let's catch up with chat. Let's see here. Best thing I did was I got 125 packs pre-sale, and the return on free SPS is crazy. Yeah, I agree. How much SPS did you get for 125 packs? It varies. It was 17 a day when it started. Okay, so just catching up. Gathering and Alex talking back and forth. I still need to do a video on why I think there won't be enough grain available in 2.0 launches. That's from Gathering. I feel like a lot of people will use common plots that could produce grain for other buildings like refining and shortage, or storage, not shortage. Yeah, that's a good point, and we've just started digging into it. Obviously, we've got a good amount of time to dig into these details, but I think you and I came to the same assertion. I think everybody that reads through the details came to the same idea, is that common plots will be best used for production buildings. Okay. Obviously, basically the main takeaway we found there, let's go over to the building information here. When you look at the building information, the one main thing you'll see is that the rarity of the land only applies under resource production. So if you have a rare, an epic, or a better plot of land, that is going to be best used, I think, in most cases. Obviously, there's going to be more information come out and things will change. But with the current information we have at our fingertips, the rarer lands will be best used for resource production. And then that leaves the common lands to be used for resource refinement and resource storage. Okay, so this just goes to basic thought process. Now, your takeaway from as far as grain production is, I think ultimately it will come down to the production of the higher quality foods, and a certain amount of people will need to produce grain to produce those elemental foods, because they will have a higher efficiency rating, right? I think it's all going to come down to, you're going to want to use those elemental foods when possible, because you'll need a lot less of them to be able to feed your workers, right? But I mean, that's a decent assertion, Will people stop producing grain because ultimately at the very beginning of 2.0, there will probably be a glut of grain. And that goes back to my original question that I had recently, is that what happens? Okay, so in 1.5, we don't have any storage caps, okay? So when 2.0 hits, we're all going to have this, well, if you are aligning your plots to produce a little bit more food than what you need on a daily basis for your rest of your plots, which is what I'm doing, then you're going to have this huge glut. You're going to have this huge overproduction of grain. What happens when 2.0 goes live? 2.0 goes live, and then automatically you're going to have to have storage for that extra grain, or you're going to have to figure out where that goes. That's a question I don't have an answer for right now. So that's one, ultimately, we have to figure out. A lot of people are producing this glut of grain. You can go on the private channel they have in Discord and buy and sell grain, and it's a lot less, it's a lot cheaper than buying 1 DEC per grain, right? So and we just started. It's only 2 weeks in, a week and a half, 2 weeks in, right? What happens when we're months in? There's this huge glut of grain, right? Now, what happens when 2.0 goes live? 2.0 goes live, do I automatically have to have two huge grain silos on two different plots of land to be able to store this grain? Does it go away? Does it get converted? Can you burn it? Who knows? At this point, we don't know, but it's a good question, right? Let's see here. Alex says, yep, I'm getting all the research right now as I can. Good point, because as we talked about in the videos, I think we've all done videos on this. Once 2.0 goes live, the research process will be a lot more complicated, whereas right now it's very straightforward. So, Gathering says, will it cost 10,000 DEC to construct a building? I think it may, but 50% could be paid for in vouchers. 10,000 is a good guess, since we looked at that's kind of a round number, right? Who knows? Each level, I think that's just the minimal cost. That's not what I'm worried about. The original building cost, and if you have building in a box, that's taken care of, right? That's just going to be the minimal cost. The big cost you're going to worry about is how much does it cost. What's the cost to level up those buildings? Because ultimately, if you're playing land, you don't want a level 1 building. Is a level 1 building better than nothing? Yeah, but you're going to want the higher level buildings to yield more, etc., right? But as you go up, the costs go up, right? So it's going to be a balancing. Do I level this building up? Which building is more important? Do I want to increase my production over here, etc.? So these are all, you know, it's a classic resource. It's turning into a classic resource management game, right? We've all played these in Civilization, that kind of thing, but it's turning into that, and you're just going to have to figure out where you want to put your money, what you want to produce more of, and that is going to continually ebb and flow. Because it's going to be a classic market situation. We've talked about this as well. As you know, you're producing a lot of lumber. Suddenly, there's a glut of lumber on the market, and you're not making as much money as you used to. Okay, well, I'll pull back that, and I will start producing more ore, or I might convert my building over to producing metal bars, etc., etc. There is a cost involved there, but hopefully, if you make the right market decisions at the right time, you can capitalize and make your money back, you know. Higher rarity plots are greater than for resource harvesting. Common plots, reforming, yeah, what we just went over. Only 4 terrain types can produce grain. 10 types can't. Even with specialized food, how many people will actually make it, and how expensive will it be? Hard to tell. Well, that goes back to the argument about, hey, you could just specialize in making food, right? Buy some farms, be a farmer, basically. That's a very valid assertion. You could go in, you know, going back to my previous statement, right? We get into Land 2.0, there's this glut of food, and then there's a certain portion of time, and then that food is used up, right? And then we get into using the specialized food, and then if that becomes a money-making opportunity, then you may roll around and start doing that. But, like you said, it comes down to having the correct terrain types. So, lots of grain at the start of 2.0, but the surplus will quickly be eaten away, and there will be a shortage, correct? That's what you're just talking about. Time crystal prices going up. Yeah, but you know, that's limited. I mean, it is nice to be able to get time crystals for less than the 1 DEC, or how many ever it was, 100, whatever it was. But there's that cap. The cap is a artificial cap set by the game, so it can't go above what the game costs. Otherwise, you're just buying it off the game, right? So I do like the fact that time crystals are there. It's a DEC sync, so it's good for the game. It's good for DEC. Speaking of that, I looked at that earlier, and would you look at that? Since 1.5 released, DEC has been right around peg. SPS has tripled in price. And look at the amount of liquid supply DEC. Look at all that burning of SPS. Look at that. I'm just looking. Almost 35 million SPS converted to DEC. Let's go ahead and catch up on chat. Gathering says, I have 9 plots and none can produce grain. I need to come up with a strategy, producing as much as I can now. Now, that also goes into the situation where you figure out what you can produce, and then you have an alliance with somebody that can produce food, and you trade. There's also this bartering going back and forth, right? You can also barter. You don't have to necessarily throw everything on the sale, but you would have to really trust the person you're bartering with. So for instance, Gathering and I are in, if we are in a particular region together and I'm producing food and he's producing metal bars, we might be able to say, hey, I'll trade you this much food for metal bars. This is a basic trading principle, but don't forget that. Obviously, the peer-to-peer thing, you're going to have to trust who you do it with or have a middleman if it's a big deal, right? So Alex T says, it's lit. The bull has officially started. I started buying heavy at the beginning of the quarter. Nice. I have not put a huge amount of money in. In fact, since land started, I have not bought any SPS. I have put some money into cards, and I bought that extra plot, and I'm keeping my eye on what the land market is, and kind of hoping. We have seen the prices of land raise generally. I have noted that especially in the epic category, the prices have raised decently. But, you know, a couple months ago, I did buy my epic plot for $200. So it's right around that price right now. Where I'm really looking at is plots now that already have things built on them, because if you find a deal on a plot that already has something built on it, you're bypassing that time, you're bypassing that cost of actually building something on that, and you're bypassing the crystal cost and all that. So that's really where I'm looking at now. But what I have noticed is people starting to sell off. They don't like the 5% land. Basically, the 5%er lands are going for cheaper than the 10% lands. And I'm talking about the bonuses available. So does grain ever go bad? I have not heard about that. I don't think it does. I think it's basically grain is an accumulated credit that you can buy, sell, trade. Obviously, this next update, 1.6, they will be putting it, making a market for it, so you don't have to do peer-to-peer trades. So I don't think, I've never heard of anybody say that it expires. Gathering says, grain doesn't go bad, but how much will you be able to store? Yeah, it's not about going bad. Back to my point about 2.0 going live, it's about how much can you store, and or how much are you going to pay out to rent somebody else's land out. So for instance, one of the things we've talked about is if I have excess grain, I don't have enough place to store it. And say, for instance, Gathering puts up a grain storage bin next to me or in my region, then I can rent out his grain storage bin and use that. So just got to, Alex B says, just got to the 3K mark on research. Nice. Let's see here. I'm looking at my spreadsheet. I am currently at 2,000 for both my research. I'm a total 2,000. I have a running spreadsheet, and yes, I finally got the formulas put in, so I don't have to manually add it up. So let's see here. If you produce a ton of resource and there's a glut on the market, put it into the LPs and get some of the special tokens. Yeah, that's going to be another option. I haven't dug into the liquidity pools. I do know that I want everybody to look at the liquidity pools and be careful. Know what you're getting into. I do know enough that you can get bit with liquidity pools. I don't have any details. Obviously, when they start to come out, I'll look at them. I don't know how much I'm going to be into the liquidity pools. Obviously, it's very important to keep the markets up and running, and I probably will be into a certain extent, but I don't know if I'm going to be a heavy investor, so to speak. I do know that you need to know the details and do your proper research before you get into it too deep. Alex says, I will sell research for 10,000 DEC per one research. That would be nice. Alex T says, I have some land. I just set it up for wood and food, but not really that interested in land. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the great things about how this is going. It's a totally different, separate section of the game, right? You can be totally into the card game, totally. I guess you could do both if you had a lot of time and a lot of money. Myself, I've specialized, put most of my money into playing the land game versus increasing the strength of my deck for the card game. So that's just why I made my choice. Gathering says, time crystals will be key for constructing your plots right away and eliminating downtime. Yeah, I agree. And that's why they put it in there. But I think this is a common thing in a lot of games, okay? So you're paying for priority to get ahead of, to get a jump on the market. And like in a lot of games, you're paying to advance your character or whatever else, pay to win, so to speak. You're paying to get your land up and running quicker, which ultimately speaking, getting on the market quicker, usually when you're considering tokens and things like that, usually nets you a profit. So I went with the tokens as well, or the crystals rather. Also note that time crystals come in very handy when you're switching buildings, because I did this previously last week. I switched 4 different buildings around, and I could have, instead of waiting the 24 hours, and it ended up being 24 hours and 500 grain to do the switch. I could have just paid 50 time crystals. So that's something else you can think about. Alex T says SPS hasn't tripled, it's barely doubled. Let's look at it. You're right. I was comparing it. I was thinking it was 1 cent. You're right. It's about doubled. So I was wrong there. But I do think that it'll keep going up. Obviously not investment advice, but you're right there. Gathering says epics are where they should be, $200. Yeah, I paid, like I said, I paid $200 for mine a couple months ago. And frankly, at that point in time, it was a deal, right? But between then and when 1.5 went live, they had fell a little bit. I remember you could get epics right before 1.5 went live. I saw some epics for like $120, I guess. I'm mainly looking for plots with buildings already built on them now to save the time and effort and money. I got an epic about a year ago for 100 with a box and totem. I sold it for 155 8 days later. Yeah, I can see, since I look at the market, there's a lot of people flipping lands. So yeah, if you can make, that's part of the game too, right? Buy, sell, trade. Buy a plot and try to flip it. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes you get stuck with it and it takes a while to sell. I would ultimately, this kind of goes back to my thought process was I need to upgrade my common plots all to at least rare. But then when we got this 2.0 news of the how commons would be great for having production facilities on, I'm like, well, it's good to have common plots now. Everybody's going to need to have some common plots for producing different things and for also storing. So I made a bunch flipping land, says Alex T. Good job. I'm guilty of basically not making a whole lot of money. I've spent a lot, and I guess what I've spent is looking towards the future, hoping my land goes up in value and that what I'm making on the land is of good value. So I do like the fact that a person can come into the game and basically be a stock trader, right? So you see people make money. They also lose a lot of money flipping stocks, buying stocks, waiting for it to go up a certain amount and selling it on day trading, right? Same kind of idea on the land. Buy it. You have a certain formula. You say, okay, I'm going to buy this land. If it goes up 10%, I'm going to sell it. Something like that, What you make is minimal, but you're in some cases it's minimal. Some cases you can make a nice fat paycheck, but it works by numbers, right? Buy, sell, trade. Where I have seen one kind of side issue here is, and I don't have a castle or keep, what I've seen is that I can kind of think that there's going to be different regions where we're seeing a lot of that happening, a lot of flipping. And I can see that the people that owns the castles and keeps in that area will not make as much because there's not as many people staked out their lands and producing in those regions. So the castles and keeps in those regions are going to be in turn sold for not as much as castles and keeps in areas where there's a lot of people staked out. That was just another miscellaneous thought process floating around in my head this week. I don't have a castle or keep, but I do know a couple people follow my channel that do. So hopefully your castle, if you have a castle or keep, it's doing well. If you have a castle or keep, please comment how it's doing, how anything you're seeing. One thing is I try to keep up with comments in Discord, but you can't keep up with everything. Let's see here. Wilson says, I sold packs I got with Neil's bulk buy for a SPS 6 months ago and then got me to 120K SPS back then. Since then, I've collected 30K more. Nice. When land went live, I blew through almost a million SPS. Not blew through. A lot of it is staked, right? But I used it. Alex T says they were going for like $25 to $30, then shot up to like $90. It was wild. 150K SPS isn't bad. By next Friday, I will finally get my last 2 plots cleared, then can start doing research. Nice. You can rent around 100K for like 2 to 3K a week. Interesting. 2 to 3K DEC. Alex says, I got one from Baron's Toolbox, a voucher. Get totems on all your land plots will pay off the land. Yeah, I have totems on 10 of my 11 plots. And I have been checking, and I see that Alex has challenged me. So I will go ahead and take a minute and do a battle. I'm going to move this off screen. It's taken time to catch up. It is lagging for some reason. I'm going to refresh. Okay, I'm going to take a minute and do a challenge from Alex. Let's see here. Born again, taking sides, no neutrals, heavy hitters. Okay, let's see here. I have not gotten into using the newer cards yet. I haven't opened any packs. Okay, we'll see how this goes. I have submitted my team. Okay, after this battle, I see that my financial journey is asking for some Golem Overlord news. We will switch topics and talk about Golem Overlord. Let's see here. Alex, I'm just catching up with chat. I started with max level deck. I rented it out with silver deck over time. Then I just started buying cards that rent well. Then new money I put into other things. Yeah, I sell people covered calls on 4 during the week. Let's see. Yesterday, this is from my financial journey. Thanks for dropping by. New name, thanks. Yesterday, I bought 22 BCX of Jin Oshawnis at 85 cents for my lands, up to $1.29 per BCX. Love that card. I love that card. In fact, I've talked about it. When it first came out, I was buying Jin Oshawnis for like 15, 20 bucks. Great card. Look at where it's at now, but yeah, it is going up moderately. All the cards. See, Vilson says, I've contemplated selling my cards for SPS sometimes. Not going to lie. Now that the tokenomics are in better place, we can see a big pump. Yeah, I think everybody's pretty psyched. I think overall, I like the idea that actually what we forecasted, what everybody was hoping, actually happened. In other words, when 1.5 went live, that SPS pumped. You put in a challenge, then you didn't put in your cards. Okay, so either way, let's talk about Golem Overlord for a minute. So yeah, a lot of changes. The big thing in Golem Overlord this week is the fact that he put in daily quests. I already did my daily quest, and I did a video on this. But if you're playing Golem Overlord, when you log in each day, other than your main quest line you're on, you can see I'm in the 15th stage of Golemancer's Gauntlet currently. There will be a daily quest. And if it's the first day you log in, you should have like 3 if you haven't done it. I don't know if those went away after the first day, but what I can see with the daily quests is the fact that he's trying to burn off some shard, right? Everybody's been accumulating shard, and there hasn't really been a whole lot to do with it other than siphon it off and sell it. So you will notice that when you do your daily quests, that you get decent prizes, but you have to basically burn shard for them. So that's my takeaway from there. Our guild, you didn't know I accepted the quest. I can't keep up with what everybody's talking back and forth, but our guild's doing well. We're bunker level 6, working on level 7. Level 7 still has the 3% bonus, but once we get to level 8, we will go up to the 4% bonus. So I do think that Yixen is doing a great job on this. I've kind of fell into a situation where I'm Prestige 13 and I'm still working on that. In fact, I'm almost 14. But my powers, I've just been basically leveling up and just keeping them level. But with the daily quest, it also helps. What I've noticed is if you have enough part to go ahead and level, look for your daily quest and save some, because some of those daily quests will say, hey, level your fortification. And if you already spend it on leveling your faith, then you have to wait until the next time or two to level it. And it will help to have a little bit of parts saved up in case you get a daily quest that says, hey, level this, and you can go ahead and level it and get your prizes, etc. I have noticed that. Oh, you sent another challenge? Okay. Okay, let's do this again. Once again, I'm going to take it off screen. We've got Holy Protection, we've got Armored Up, and we've got Target Practice this time around. Let's see here. Oh, low mana. Wow. Wow. I don't have a stock strategy for low mana matches. This shouldn't take too long since I can't pick too many cards. Let's go in with that. And let's go in with my financial journey. Yes, I have one. I have one spot. If you have a bench, ping me in Discord or put your in-game name in the chat, and I will send you an invite if you would like. I'm trying to pick my other card. Let's go with that. Okay, we'll see how that works out. Okay, let's see here. I came in with a monk. He came in with a Cephalopod backed up by a Tidebiter and Igor. I think he might have me on this one. Let's see. I usually kind of default to my monk on low mana matches. I do like Cruel Cephalopod, so that was a good choice. Yeah. Yeah, should have threw some more epics in there. Okay, let's see here. Trying to catch up. Okay, we can do one more challenge. Catching up with chat. Alex T says Thornstalk, the new research and armor plus ranges SB card. All my lineup would have smashed him. Actually, I don't know if I had enough. Death is best for low mana matches. I might check that out. All my cards are being rented or botted. Are you going to take the challenge? Okay. Okay, last challenge since we're coming up. Oh, got a little bit more mana to work with this time around. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Let's go. We got a little bit more mana to work with here. I'm going to go in with I'm at the same disadvantage. I haven't played a lot, so I do play my brawls. Let's see here. Okay, he came in with a Demon Shark, and I came in with a Vruz, backed up by Agor. He's got a Dr. Blight going on. Looks like a pretty good lineup. Yeah, from what I've seen, the new expansion, a lot of nice cards. And I think one of the big topics talked about often is, how much that's going to affect the overall gameplay and value of actually buying, Rift Watchers and Chaos Legion. So I still think Chaos Legion is a good value, especially at the price per pack. Yeah, it's clear that you have a much stronger deck than I do and that you play a lot more. So, okay, let's go ahead and send you your 2 vouchers. Ah. I didn't have any in game, so I had to transfer them on chain. Okay, well, like I said, it's coming to the bottom of the hour, but the big news was the Golem Overlord edition of Daily Quests, as well as, I think, a little bit bigger news was the addition of the hero leveling system in SplinterForge as well. So get in there and get your daily rewards if you're not playing, SplinterForge on a daily basis. I'm not worried. I'm one of the things that happens whenever you get out of practice is that you get out of practice, right? So, but like I said, I'm primarily into the land game right now, and it's no secret I do let the bot play my cards in in Wild, just so I'm making something off of it. You know, this was a pretty decent season. I wouldn't say it was a great season. Last season was a great season for me, but you know, you go a number of seasons and just kind of get regular rewards, and then once in a while, it's just the luck of the draw, right? Yeah, what Gathering says. Okay, thanks for sending those back, Alex B. 3 plots of land and 5 Nartor's rings are the big. Yeah, I would like to have any of those. And obviously, I think the big thing is around leveling. Wrong page. Leveling your characters, because I think obviously he's trying to push as well, buying some crates and bags, because really, since the very beginning, I haven't bought any crates or bags. I bought a bunch at the beginning. Well, not a bunch compared to some of the other heavy investors, but I bought some at the beginning, and I didn't get anything really great out of it, so I stopped. And I know you did several videos on leveling up your equipment and everything, and I got to a certain point, and let's look at my cards. Let's go out of there. But, you know, some of my equipment I've got to level 2. Some of it I got to level 3. Obviously, I think that if you're playing, you know the advantage of having as much speed as possible. Speed is the name of the game in SplinterForge. So I've got to level 3. I haven't really worried about getting to level 4. Some of the equipment I haven't even bothered in leveling up past level 2. I don't know why it's not loading. But I would like another Nartor's ring. I could use another Nartor's ring on my secondary character as well, because I do not have a ring on that due to the costs involved. But yeah, it would be nice to pick up another land plot. And as you know, as I've been talking, I am looking for a deal. Who isn't, right? I would like to pick up another land plot. I had a person that viewed one of my videos offer me a deal. Well, offered to sell me a bulk buy, I guess you would say, of 10 plots in 133, but we could not come to the right price. Couldn't come to a deal on a price, so he did put them up. I'm not sure. I didn't keep track of whether he sold them to somebody or whether he pulled them down, but. Alex B says, I went to Prestige 10. Should I have stayed at 9 in Golem? No. I think that with the new quests, I know with the new quests there is extra value now in prestiging up, because if you haven't checked it out, I did go into a little bit of detail in my video on it. It was last night. No, it was the day before last. The daily quests are limited by your level. So, see, like I said, I can get at Prestige 13, I can get up to 3-star quests. Now, at Prestige 15, I can get 4-star quests, and at Prestige 20 I can get 5-star quests. So as you prestige up, one of the other side benefits is going to be you can get better quests, daily quests. So Alex T says, I have a crap ton of Forge. I don't know what to do with it. Well, there are options. If you really like playing the game and you want to place better, then you could level up your equipment. You could use the new system to level up different powers with your characters. Let's go into character stats view. You could burn Forge for experience. I'm not necessarily sure if that you would have to look at the numbers and see if that makes sense. You could transfer it off and buy stuff in Splinterlands with it, but a lot of different things you can do it. Do I get more experience still at 10? Give it to the so when you prestige up at 10, let's see here. Yes, one of the other benefits that you get for prestige in past 9 is your claim goes up 1% per prestige level. So at 10, you should be getting a plus 10% prestige. Like on my screen, I'm getting a plus 13. Getting ready to be plus 14. So let's see here. Okay, we're coming to the bottom of the hour. I do want to say thanks, everybody. I hope everybody's healthy out there. I hope everybody's going into the holiday season healthy, because one of the bad things is if you're sick at the holiday portion. I do want to say thanks, everybody, for increasing, stopping by my videos. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate if you like my videos to give them a like and subscribe as usual, like every YouTuber says. So I think these, I will note that the amount of people stopping by my daily or my weekly stand-up has went up. So I do appreciate it. Hopefully we're putting out some good information, getting a lot of different viewpoints out there on, one of the reasons I started this up is because I have multiple different people with different things they're looking at in Splinterlands and other games, giving different points of view, and we can all learn a thing or two. Gathering says buy crates and bags or good items off the Splex market to get rid of your forge. Yeah, basically increase the power of your character. Alex says he got the Platinum Pass, and Alex B says he got the Platinum Pass, and Alex T says, I hate SeaWorld. It's a cool place, but I feel bad for the animals. It's been years since I went to any of the SeaWorlds. I don't live around SeaWorld. Okay. It's the bottom of the hour. I just want to say appreciate everybody for stopping by. And Gathering gets the last word. Smash the likes and sub if you haven't. Stay the course. Keep on forging and have fun. And I don't think I can say it any better. Thanks for dropping by. I will see you on the flip side.